Good evening. Welcome to the October 23rd Lebanon Board of Works meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, roll please.
Mayor Gentry.
Here.
Clerk.
Present.
Bill Stoner.
Present.
Jeff Robertson.
Here.
Alan Milburn.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, move on to the approval of minutes from our previous meetings, not next time. Okay. Department head reports then. First up will be Police Department, Chief Morgan.
Good evening, board members. Since our last meeting, the Lebanon Police Department has responded to 572 calls for service, and 20 people were arrested for the following crimes. 5 for operating while intoxicated, 7 were wanted on a warrant, 1 for trespassing, 2 for domestic battery, 1 for intimidation, 2 for possession of meth, 1 for theft, and 1 for residential entry. In that same time frame, LPD took 25 crash reports. For training, Sergeant Ted Bowling and Officer Tim Edmonds completed a supervisor liability for law enforcement training session in Fishers. This course covers case law and recent world events where the cases were utilized to illustrate the most common and costly liability issues confronting supervisors and law enforcement and effective strategies for minimizing that liability. Officer Austin Scott completed the Red Dot Site Instructor course out at our range. This course will help him train the rest of our officers with the red dots and show the advantages of using them. Then the last thing I have is we'll be back out there for Mischief on Meridian in the same spot this year. LPD will. So come out and visit us. We'll give you some candy. And please use extra caution while driving with the kids out trick-or-treating. That's all I have.
Chief, any questions for Chief from the board?
Thank you, Chief.
Public? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next will be Fire Department, Chief Betts.
Good evening, everyone. Since the last Board of Public Works and Safety meeting, Lebanon Fire has made 110 emergency calls of service, logged 256 training hours, completed 9 commercial pre-plans, conducted 12 public education classes, completed 30 commercial inspections, and participated in 1 TAC meeting. On Thursday, October 11th, LFD participated in LHS's College and Career Fair. Captain Matt Young and Lieutenant Jason Adams enjoyed meeting with the students and discussing the pathway in their career to the fire service. Friday, October 13th, LFD took delivery of a new Great Wall of Rescue system. This system is designed to assist someone in a rescue situation that's been engulfed in grain. This was donated to Lebanon Fire by Co-Alliance, and we appreciate their partnership in public safety. And I talked about it during the last meeting. They provided some excellent training countywide, and we really appreciate their assistance in this. Friday, October 20th, LFD participated in a mass casualty training exercise. Planning for this event was over the last 6 months. It coordinated local public safety. Randy Walls of the Boone County Health Department organized this training, and it was simulated as an act of domestic terrorism at the Co-Alliance facility on 400 Coombs Street. A disgruntled employee blew up a van that ignited some area buildings along with discharging anhydrous ammonia. It gave us the opportunity to use a triage system with this mass casualty event. We had several local public agencies help us with this. The Health Department and Boone County EMA had some blow-up structures that they use. We went through decontamination procedures, and it was just a great training event here locally. Very, very proud of everything that was put together and the actions that were taken. Also like to thank Joe LePage and his intern, Anna Hale. They came down and they interviewed our OIC, which was Captain Matt Young, put together a great video, and I shared that with you on the Board of Works report that I sent out, and you can also see that on the City of Lebanon Fire Department's Facebook page. But really wanted to thank those two for the great video product that they put out. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief from the board? From the public? Sir?
All right, thanks.
Next is Parks and Recreation, John Messenger.
Good evening. That guy's tall right there, I tell you. We finished winterizing the pool, bathhouse, concession stand, all the loungers, put all the canopies and stored those away for the winter, ready for next year. Have shut down all the drinking fountains in the park and hoping to keep the restrooms open as long as we can. Obviously, the weather has a lot to do with that, and we're trying to keep them open as long as we can. Got a lot of things to shut down eventually. We've treated Memorial Park, all the sports fields, Gene Haas, all the park property along with Gene Haas with weed control and fertilizer. And we've removed several stumps and a few trees. Lysa out at Reese Park is now finished for the season. And Lebanon Youth Football, they'll finish their season on November 10th. And Indiana Baseball League that plays out at the park, they finished up their last season games this last Sunday. And I want to say Lebanon Youth Football, one of their groups won the championship down at Center Grove this weekend. So I think that was the 8-9-year-olds. They represented very well, so that's really cool. I think the other group came in fourth. We loaded a container for the Malawi project. Want to appreciate that mayor for letting us do that, and it's really nice. All that stuff goes over to Africa, much needed hospital equipment and such. I think we have one more scheduled for the end of the year here. I want to thank all those people involved with that and also the park staff. Also, we were blessed to serve at the Shalom House a couple weeks ago. I think 275 meals, hot meals were out. But we like to do that a couple times a year. Shalom's just a great place and well needed. We received a nice monetary donation from Kiwanis. That'll be helping to replace the playground equipment at Abner Longley in the spring. I want to thank them. That's going to be our first community build, too. We're pretty excited about that. Never been able to do that, and it's really going to be nice that we get to do that. Celebrated Pixie Playhouse's service. They've helped us out on so many different occasions, and there was a nice celebration at the cabin, very well attended at Memorial Park. All the Albano family. Thanks to Kelly Cook and Jerry Day for setting that all up and putting it together. The Fall Pickleball League is all wrapped up for the season, too. We'll pick it back up in the spring. Rotary held their annual Trick or Trot 5K on October 14th in Memorial Park. Had a great turnout, and the weather provided, so that's really nice. They do that every year. Great turnout. Our annual Pumpkins in the Park will take place this Saturday, October 28th, from 11 to 2. The cost is $5 per person and includes pumpkin painting, s'mores, hay rides, and more. We'd like to give a special thank you to Four Branches by John Lastly for donating all the pumpkins this year, and Lebanon IGA for donating s'more supplies. The Refuge coffee truck, the girls around the corner are going to be having their coffee and great little drinks, so there again, that's from 11 to 2 this coming Saturday. Please come out and enjoy, and that's all I had.
Thank you, John. Any questions for John from the board? From the public? Sir?
Thank you.
Next will be Engineering Department, Kim Krulik.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Engineering update for tonight. A few miscellaneous projects going on around town. Want to update you on. First, Courthouse Square, all the street paver work that we've been doing for the last couple weeks, that's all complete now. Street Department's not going to do some additional maintenance uptown, but some of the resetting of pavers and releveling of pavers was taken care of, as well as adding the trench drain on the crosswalk at Main and Meridian. Other projects around town, we're looking at getting ready for projects for next year, looking at a lot of fourth quarter bidding coming up. First one on the list is the Riley Road widening and drainage and sidewalk improvements that will be going in. We're finalizing construction documents, bidding documents, excuse me, and those will be published on the 16th of November, tentatively looking at a bid opening of the 11th of December. And a lot of this coincides with some of the bonding exercises and bonding actions that we'll be taking here and in the council later in the evening. And there's a number of projects that we're getting teed up for those different measures. Fordyce Street is another one of those. There'll be a stormwater bond resolution that will be considered later this evening, and we are also planning to publish those bidding documents on the 16th for a bid opening on December 11th. December 11th is going to be a busy last meeting of the year. Other projects, Big Ford Trail marker signage is now complete. All those signs have been installed across the county, at least where the trail is complete. We're also now turning our attention to wayfinding signage. All the staking was done last week in anticipation of that installation happening in the next couple of weeks. Regional detention, our regional detention outlet under the CSX Railroad right-of-way under State Road 39. We've responded to the last remaining comments from CSX. Hopefully that will be our final submittal, and we'll see an approval. CenterPoint Energy has issued their approval of our crossing design. NDOT has issued their approval, and we're just really working with NDOT and CSX, on the cost share agreements that will be put in place for them to participate in the cost of those crossings. Elizabeth Road drainage, another project. We're looking at just really drainage improvements along Elizabeth Road between Grant Boulevard and Winding Way. And those documents are also being finalized for publishing on the 16th of November and bid opening on the 11th of December. Chadwick drainage improvements, we're working with a consultant trying to get us a proposal so we can put a little study into that neighborhood and figure out how we can improve some of the drainage concerns that we see there, particularly associated with the ditch on the north side of the project. Witt Road, that project isn't scheduled to let until 2026, but bringing that up because tomorrow is our scheduled date for releasing our preliminary field check plans that will begin the process of coordinating relocations and other coordinations with our utility partners in the corridor. Grant Street project, obviously the most heavy construction project we're in the middle of right now. We're square in the middle of phase 3, but happy to report as of last week, we finished all of our asphalt base and wedge and leveling on the Ann Street intersection. We've also finished the west side asphalt, so all the base and intermediate levels of asphalt have been installed there. We are the street will continue to remain closed to northbound only traffic, but we are working on the west side in phase 3 on all the driveway access approaches. We'll also be working on parking areas and sidewalks. So a lot still to happen over there, but getting the asphalt in and all the curbs in is a good milestone, and still tentatively looking at the end of the year for being able to open that to two-way traffic again. Grant Street Phase 2, keep in mind that's still out there. It's also a 2027 project, so a ways out. Stone Eater Bike Park, we are also looking at another bid package on Stone Eater. If you might remember, a few weeks back, we tried to open bids on the parking lot, and we did not receive any to open. So we are planning to also put that out for bid as well. Although this one, we're going to do this one a little sooner than the others because we've already issued these bidding documents in the past. This bid opening will be on the 27th of November. So that Monday right after the Thanksgiving holiday. Really trying to put that one ahead of the others as a test to our new online bidding platform, trying to make sure we've got the bugs worked out of that before we get to those massive project openings in December. Cross-country and skills trails, remind when we awarded that bid to Pump Tracks USA, all contracts are in place. We want to just give everybody a little bit of a taste of Pump Tracks. You know, they are a division of Tom Ritz Designs, and we're really excited to have the contractor that has actually built the last 2 Olympic BMX courses, building a course and building trails right here in Lebanon. We think that's going to be a real feather in our cap to say we're working with a contractor that has international capabilities. So we're excited to see what they bring to the projects. We have an on-site meeting with the Pump Tracks people tomorrow morning to start walking trails, and we've been working with our bike park designer to start laying those trails out, and we're going to start reviewing those layouts with the contractor in the morning. Also meeting in the morning with our seeding contractor, planning to start the prairie seeding projects next week. It really is, prairie seeding is a dormant seeding. It's best to do that in the fall. It's not your normal sowing seed on the ground. Prairie seeding is actually more of an agricultural-based process where the seed is actually placed into the ground with the machinery. So we're excited to get that started and see how that comes up in the spring. And we're also are now under contract with our fencing contractor. And happy to report that I got a call in the last 48 hours with another donation of material for the site that may total upwards of 45,000 cubic yards of earthwork, as well as several thousand tons of stone material that will be donated to the park. So it's not finalized, so I'll hold off on giving you any more details, but that's been on our radar for quite some time, is trying to finish out the material procurement.
Did you make the hills a little bit bigger?
Exactly. So yeah, you might say, well, you just said you're getting ready to seed it. Isn't that a problem? Well, we're only seeding the perimeter of the site just to make sure that we've got our erosion control in place. And this would be internal to the site, really to create some mounding in the center of the site. It seems very positive that will be finalized in the next 3 to 4 days, because they want to start hauling dirt next week. So a lot more activity to come out at Stone Eater. Speaking of activity, Leap District is charging along, particularly on the roads surrounding the Lilly site. Their contractors working for Pure Development, Milestone Paving, are doing a great job. In fact, they are working on a schedule that has them opening up County Road 375, County Road 450 North, the Eastern Bypass, and all of Witt Road before the end of the year. I would not encourage you to go up there and try to take a look, because a lot of it is a heavy construction site, but they've already paved the area south of the bridge on North Witt Road. They'll be paving the area north of the bridge on Witt Road this week. The bridge continues. They have 2 crews building simultaneously on the bridge project on Witt Road, so fast tracking doesn't even begin to explain what they're doing. That's been a monumental effort to think about, that they started that a little over a month ago, and we're nearing completion here. So a lot going on there on those road projects. The widening of 52, the additional turn lanes, the widening of the median 52, that is now open. A lot of this is getting set up for this major concrete pour that is going to happen this weekend. Originally it was supposed to happen on last weekend. They pushed that to this weekend, and so that will be happening starting at 1 a.m. on Saturday morning and running through Saturday afternoon. But you will see that the intersection improvements at 300 North, at 52, and at 39, and those are all in place and there to accommodate this work. And there will be cooperation from the police department on traffic control at those intersections while this happens.
Will the weather affect that?
Yes, there is a possibility they will delay it for weather. I think they're supposed to make that call tomorrow. Rain is not a problem. A light rain, a heavy rain becomes a little bit more problematic for the concrete pour. Lightning is absolutely out of the question when they've got, I think, 6 pump trucks in the air. They don't. It's too much of a safety risk to risk any storms, any electrical storms that may be happening. So I think they're going to make that call tomorrow based on the weather forecast. This is the last update I heard. We'll keep everybody posted through the city's social media channels if we hear anything more. And that's really all I have, unless there's any other questions.
And Kevin, any questions for Kevin from the board? From the public? Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Our next will be Planning Department, Ben Bontrager.
Good evening, board members. Planning Department, construction activity still remains strong as we go into the fall period here. Over the last couple of weeks, we did complete 58 additional building inspections. That includes the fact that one of our inspectors was out on vacation last week. Actually, I guess technically it's our only inspector was on vacation last week, so Derek filled in admirably to help out with that. We also issued 68 additional building permits over the last couple of weeks, and that does include 6 new single-family residential permits. So again, a lot of activity happening there. On the project side, had our Plan Commission filing just in the last couple of weeks. A couple of new applications. One is a small annexation. A homeowner wanted to go ahead and get annexed to the city. And then there is an expansion project being proposed at the U.S. Cold Storage site out in the business park. So those projects will be coming through the Plan Commission here in November. On the code enforcement side, very active over the last couple of weeks. There's 104 new investigation activities over the last couple of weeks. A lot of email follow-ups, inspections, and re-inspections on code violations that we're tracking, and that does include 20 new violations or complaints that we received over the last couple of weeks. So again, still a lot of heavy activity there, and we're following up on all of those, and in most cases, we are getting compliance with those. So that is all I have for this evening. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions for Ben from the board? From the public? Okay. Thank you, sir. Next will be Public Works Department, Jason Lawson and Dave Newell. Tag team.
Yeah, for now. Just helping Jason out since he's added a little bit more to us down there, so. I'll give the street side and then he'll just give you the rest of it for Scott and them, and Ryan and them's the stormwater side. Started mowing our easements and bush hogging as well, but we probably start that tomorrow. We meant to start it today, but we were short some people, so. Getting Indianapolis Avenue and stuff like that just mowed so we can hopefully not mow it again, but that's the plan. Well, last week, you might have seen us out, they saw cut and patched some potholes, so we're all caught up on that. Well, I'm sure there's more today, but but we're caught up supposedly. We did pick up our trash and our easements as well, and then with the rain last week, we had to clean off some debris off the storm drains just to make sure they're draining properly. Last week was our last brush week for the season, so we did collect 31,560 pounds last week. So, but I mean, with their second chipper, we were caught up by Wednesday, so when we were running 2 weeks, so this is huge for us. I mean, that best purchase of the year for us right there. But I give you an idea of that. I went ahead and had Atlanta gave me the total for the season. We picked up 400,348 pounds of brush for the 2023 season. Now, some of that, might have been storms into that, but we definitely kept lambs busy with brush, or wood chips.
Half a million pounds
Of brush. Well, and that's after we've chipped it up, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I know I contributed a little bit to that, but wow.
I mean, I guess it weighs the same either way, but yeah, but that's all I got for the street side. So if you got any questions on it, I just.
Hey, David, I see you had the street sweeper out.
Yes, it's out every day now.
Okay.
We got enough help that it's out every day. The only time we might not have it out is if it's raining super hard, or if our street sweeper dumpsters are full and we don't have nowhere to dump it. But other than that, it's out.
That's good.
Yep.
Dave? Jason?
So Dave gave you the street report, so I'll give you the MS4 inspections report. So we did 18 SWIP inspections, 6 work-in right-of-way permits. And one thing important I wanted to update, the pond inventory, the city pond inventory got completed along with the outfall inspections, but those are going to be ongoing throughout the years to come. One other thing that I wanted to update you on is we are mostly moved into the new facility. I met with the insurance rep today to make sure our coverage is sufficient for the new property, and then Dave and I are updating the asset management plan, asset plan, sorry. So that's all I have on the stormwater and MS4, and then I'll be back up for a road closure.
Yep.
Thank you.
Jason? Any questions for Jason from the board? Public? Sure. All right, and last but not least, communications and community development, Jill Page. Nice shirt, by the way.
Hey, thanks. Went to the same shop, I think, with the same embroidery as well. Well, I'm Joe, and I'll give you the communications report. The communications office has been busy continuing to capture and post pictures, short videos to social media accounts the city has citywide, but also continuing with larger video projects as well. the Stone Eater Bike Park project updates. It's a monthly series that we do. Highly recommend checking out the progress taking place there, and we'll continue to do that until Stone Eater is open. Also, as Chief Batts mentioned, we've been promoting the departments as well, the mass casualty training, and Chief also talked about our great intern, Anna Hale. I can't say enough good things about her. She's continuing to just jump right in with both feet. She's been on a couple shoots, and with the mass casualty training, as you can imagine, time was of the essence when performing the training, but also capturing the video as well. She was able to kind of be a second photographer out there, doing a little bit of supervised drone work, but also capturing her own video that we used in the video that Chief was talking about. Shot some stand-ups as well for her own aspiring career in broadcast journalism. She's been enterprising her own stories, kind of storyboarding her content as well, which is a great thing to do when you're putting together pieces. We're going to start mixing in a couple station tours, TV station tours. The first will be in early November. WTHR Channel 13 should actually be job shadowing former Lebanon graduate Dustin Grove. And so Dustin anchors the 4 p.m. newscast for THR, and he's agreed to let Anna come around. And also photojournalist Scott Allen, also THR, Lebanon resident, will be helping out with that as well, so appreciate that. Also want to give a brief update on the Eclipse 2024. We talked with local stakeholders. Last time I was up here, it was just after our October Eclipse meeting. We discussed the amenities to best highlight the community for all those out-of-town visitors, but also our local residents as well. The countywide information meeting, this is hosted by the Boone County CVB, is coming up on November 8th, starting at 6 p.m. at the top floor of the library. And so if you want to go up there and check out what's happening, not only here in Lebanon, but also Whitestown, Zionsville, Advance, and Jamestown, you can go and see that coordinated by the CVB, and we appreciate that as well. Finally, wrapping it up with our podcast, just finished the one that will air tomorrow, earlier today, where you can get your podcast. Is where you can find the Love in Lebanon podcast. Many updates and episodes are there every Tuesday morning. They come out for you, fresh, live, and local. Coming up will be the Elevate Lebanon program, which is a launch with a collaboration between our planning office and Habitat for Humanity Boone County. Then later on in the month, and starting into November, we'll have the Brakeman Building update, and also we go on location with the Boone County Cake Company. So a lot of fun things happening throughout our community. If you have an episode idea, Love in Lebanon at lebanon.in.gov is the place to submit those.
Thank you, Joe. Any questions for Joe from the board? Alan?
Yeah, Joe, I missed the time on that November 8th meeting at the library.
6 p.m. is when it
6?
starts. Mhm.
Thank you.
Questions from the board? From the public? Okay, thank you, sir. All right, that concludes department head reports. We'll move on to old business. Nothing on my agenda for old business. Anything from the board?
No.
Okay. New business then. First item up is a street closure request from the Heart of Lebanon for Boone County Bike Night. Mr. Krulik or someone? Okay.
Good evening, Board. My name's Haas Demery. I host the Boone County Bike Night that we've been doing up on the courthouse square this summer. I'm requesting to get a street closure for this Friday for the bike night again this month. And this will be our last one for this year.
Okay. You said, so this Friday, which will be the 27th,
27th,
correct?
yes, sir.
And then, so what time do you need that from?
We do it from 6 to 9.
So do you need a little bit of setup time beforehand, like
We usually get up there
5:30?
about 5 o'clock, so it gives the employees at the courthouse and the businesses along Meridian Street time to get away from the courthouse so we can start setting up. But there's been a couple of cars that's there, but we just block it off after we get our barricades put up. We block it off and then just make sure we let them out.
Okay. So, and then do you need much time to clean up after 9?
Now,
or
our
it's all-
cleanup's pretty quick. I mean, if we see people start leaving early, we'll start wrapping up early to just get on out of there ourselves.
So about 5 to 9, is that?
Yeah, 5 to 9.
And you do, and you're on Meridian, you do both like north and south of Main Street, right? So from Washington to Main?
Yeah, from Washington to Maine is what we normally do, but if it's, we've only had a couple times where we've had enough bikes that we've had them go down to the south side, so they go from Main Street down to the alley by the Rocket Liquors.
Okay.
So we can leave from 32 to the alley open,
Gotcha, okay.
but that's only been a couple times we've had to do that.
Okay, so you want us to approve it like tentatively for Meridian Street from Washington to Maine, and then that section, the first, I guess the half block.
Yeah, that first
from
half,
Maine
if
to-
we would need it.
if
If
needed.
not, we open it up as soon as we realize we don't need it.
Sounds good. Any questions on that? All right, with that, I would entertain a motion to approve the road closure request as presented.
I'll make a motion, we approve the road closure request for the bike night this coming Friday.
Motion approved, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Judge, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. Thanks for organizing that, so it gets a good turnout too.
Thank you, guys.
So,
Thank
sure.
you.
All right, do I have consent from the board to take the agenda out of order? Is that all right?
Sure.
Consent? We'll go to item G, which will be resolution 2023-31 concerning this, sorry, 2023-3, which is concerning the stormwater district bonds. Kevin?
Yeah, thank you very much. Sorry, just pull up the right
Sorry, I threw an
file.
audible at you to do it.
Yeah,
If you were
sorry.
paying our financial advisors to be here, so get done early.
I'm staying for your council meeting, so.
Oh, you're on the, okay, never mind, fair enough.
Okay, thank you very much. Resolution 2023-3 is a declaratory resolution associated with the stormwater bonds. Years ago, the Stormwater Board was absorbed into the Board of Works, so that's why we're bringing this before you here. So you are also serving in the capacity as the Stormwater Board. And so this is a project we've been talking about for a while. I mentioned earlier tonight, this is for the Fordyce Road project, which originally started as a drainage project to improve drainage along Fordyce Road. We had a lot of complaints of standing water, of drive culverts that no longer functioned, of just a lot of poor drainage situations and issues there. That project has grown a little bit in scope to include a full reconstruction of Fordyce Road in a couple of different phases. One, there's a full reconstruction from Grant Street to John Bart Road, and that includes widening and the entry improvements associated with the school's new elementary school project. And then as you go back into town, that project will bring sidewalks and pathways and street lighting and street trees back towards the center of town. As you cross Grant Street, the trails will continue to the west and will ultimately connect to the East Street Trail. And in that section between East Street and Grant Street, there will be a pavement wedge and leveling. There will be new additional storm sewer inlets added to the existing storm sewer system, curbs added, sidewalks. So again, a major reconstruction project of the Fordyce Road corridor from East Street out to John Bart Road. And the bonds that are before you tonight in this resolution total $9.5 million for everything that's included in that project. Of course, that bond will be right-sized after bid opening in December, but that's where we're starting this bond process, is at $9.5 million.
Questions for the board at this point, just to?
This is just information only?
So there's the resolution Rob will read.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Since
Yeah.
we're starting the bond
I'm
process.
just, giving you the
So-
introductory information, but this is for a declaratory resolution concerning the issuance of stormwater bonds.
Rob, could you like highlight the steps, like where we are in this, like how we're just starting this process?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. This is just the first step of several, so we'll read this resolution, declaratory resolution, and we'll have a public hearing. Baker Tilly's here, our financial advisor as well. So this fits within the statutory parameters of a controlled project, so we'll be back before this board again. And then we'll move to the next steps with the city council after that.
The city council will sign off on this bond as well too, so it's not just.
All right.
All right, Rob, have you read it?
Yep, thank you, Mayor Board. Resolution 2023-3 is a declaratory resolution declaring the necessity of the construction and acquisition of certain stormwater improvements. Pursuant to Indiana Code, the Department of stormwater management, the department, of the stormwater district of the city, and that's defined as the district, finds that it's necessary for the public health and welfare and will be a public utility and benefit to construct certain stormwater improvements that are described in Exhibit A. There will be maps, plans, specifications, drawings, and estimates for the project. So this board finds and determines and declares that it is reasonable and necessary for the protection of the public health and welfare of the district, and it adopts the maps, plans, specification, drawings, and details prepared for the project. The estimated cost of the project will be in an amount not to exceed $9,500,000. The officers, representatives of the district are directed to provide notice of adoption of this resolution pursuant to Indiana Code. And this resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption by this board. There's also preliminary determination numbers that are available for the public that are sitting over here in the council on the desk right by the entry of the door. And again, Baker Tilly's here, Emma Adlam, if you have any questions for her as well.
Any questions for Em before we consider a motion on the resolution? Okay, at this time then, I will open the public hearing on Resolution 2023-3. If you call the comments, please come forward, state your name for the record, and keep comments to 3 minutes if possible. Okay, seeing none, I will close the public hearing on Resolution 2023-3. Any discussion from the board?
None.
I will say this has been in the works for quite some time. I think do we start this right? And we have our public hearing right before COVID hit, right, 2020?
We did. I think it was in early 2020. And then at that time, we thought we were going to do this before Grant Street, and then funding got moved around on Grant Street, and we had the opportunity to expedite the project. And yeah, so it's been a moving target, but yeah, I think the project we originally started in 2019 and had a public hearing a public open house in 2020.
But it's a major corridor for us, obviously, and obviously with the new school going in, it's going to become definitely even more traveled than it is now, and really, it's still a traditional kind of road cross-section, essentially.
It is.
Right? There's no curb and gutter there, there's ditches, it's time it needs for an upgrade. So this will be a major corridor that needs to be improved, and obviously, this is similar to bonds we've issued before on East Street, Meridian Street.
Right.
So stormwater utility is usually essentially the project that kind of gets that done. So, and Dick, you remember all that when you were on the stormwater board long before me, so. With that, we'll take any further discussion, comments, or a motion on the resolution.
I'd make a motion that we approve Resolution 2023-3 as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion to approve in a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Thank you, board. Kevin, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, next will be, I guess don't go far, we got a couple more. I guess we'll just keep going.
It's up to
We'll
you.
do yours. So, Jason, you can rustle a bit. We have an alley closure request here for the Cowan Drugstore alleyway. Kevin?
Sure. Actually, if I could, we'll share a screen here. There we go. I think everyone's familiar with Cowan Drugs, a staple in our downtown for, probably as long as any of us can remember. And they are getting ready to do a roofing project. And so what they're asking for is to temporarily close the parking spaces along 39. They have already issued approval, already obtained approval from NDOT, but NDOT requested that they also get approval from the city. They will also be temporarily closing the alley to the north, effectively blocking off their drive-through window. But that's, again, their prerogative, as it is their business, and they're requesting this closure. So they're planning to close the parking spaces and the alley on the October 27th and 28th. That's a Friday and a Saturday, and that's primarily for for delivery of materials and staging materials, and then bringing in a crane to put those materials, or a lift, excuse me, to put those materials on the roof. So that is the reason for the closure. We can stop sharing here. Yeah, just, so the plan is Friday, the 27th, they will have materials delivered and stored. And then on Saturday, crews will be temporarily blocking the alley to put those materials onto the roof. And they're expected to have that all cleaned up and the parking spaces back open by Saturday evening, the 28th. And then by Friday, the 3rd, there may be some intermittent blocking of the alley, but they will complete the roof project by Friday, November 3rd. So they're asking for a temporary right-of-way closure of the parking spaces and the alley to the north of Cowens on 10/27 through 10/28, and then intermittent closures through November 3rd as they complete the roofing project.
So they put a new roof on? Is that
Yep.
what they're doing?
Questions on that request? Nope. Okay. Get a motion then to approve actually, do they need a sidewalk closure? Or are they going to be able to do it?
I think they're trying to maintain the sidewalks. They're going to be open during this time.
Okay, so it's
just-
probably-
Yeah, just in the parking spaces there.
All right, then, so we'll entertain a motion to approve the, I guess, alleyway and also parking space closure request as presented for Cowan's Drugstore.
Make a motion, we approve the alleyway closure request as presented.
Motions, are second?
Second.
Judge, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That approved. Thank you, Kevin. All right, next will be a secondary plat approval and surety acceptance for Honor Meadow.
Very good. So Honor Meadow is the name of, I guess for a long time, we're referring to this as the Noble Street development. This is the housing development on Noble Street, just west of Patterson. That project is essentially done at this point. The streets are in, and utilities are getting wrapped up, and so it's time for them to start selling lots and start building homes. And our process requires that before they can record a secondary plat, they have to dedicate that plat to you, the rights-of-way and public utilities associated with that plat, and then post certain sureties associated with the public improvements. So before you tonight, we're asking for approval for the secondary plat for Honor Meadow, and with that, also accepting the necessary sureties, pending administrative review and acceptance of those sureties for performance bonds totaling $1,230,278.95. And, I'm sorry, that's the total construction cost, sorry. The performance bonds will be for $36,202.19, and the maintenance sureties are for $304,069.74. Again, though, I don't think the dollar amounts are critical. The action for you tonight is acceptance of their secondary plat and the appropriate sureties subject to technical review of those documents.
Any questions on that from the board? We'll entertain a motion then to approve the secondary plat and then also accept the surety pending final technical review of documents and acceptance of that.
I'll make a motion, we approve the secondary plat and accept the surety for the Honor Meadow subdivision.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. All right, next will be secondary plat approval and surety acceptance for Cedar Ridge, sections 1, 2, and 3.
Thank you very much. Hold those up here. Just to clarify where we're at there. So it's not secondary plats and sureties for all of them, but there's a host of different actions here that we're taking. So what we'll start with is Cedar Ridge Section 1. Cedar Ridge Section 1 has already received secondary plat approval and had the original performance bonds sureties issued for Section 1. They have now filed maintenance sureties to replace those performance sureties. And so what we are asking for is the release of all performance sureties associated with Section 1 of Cedar Ridge, subject to the verification of all performance-related repairs and prior maintenance bond acceptance.
Questions on that? Would you entertain a motion then to release the performance bonds and accept the maintenance surety for Cedar Ridge Section 1?
I make a motion, we approve the secondary plat approval and security acceptance for Cedar Ridge Section 1.
You mean we have to release the
Or
release the performance?
Yeah, release performance bond.
Yeah, and accept the maintenance, right? Yeah, motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved. Section 2, I guess?
Thank you very much. Yep, a little bit of cleanup on Section 2. Again, secondary plat has already been reviewed and accepted, subject to those previous actions as I've described on sureties associated with that platting of the public utilities. And at this point, there are 2 outstanding items that we need to take care of tonight, and that is the release of the performance bond associated with regulatory signage and lighting, and the release of the performance bond associated with the storm sewers. Again, subject to verification and posting of any necessary maintenance sureties.
The 2 releases, correct?
2 releases, regulatory signage and street lighting, and the second one is storm sewers.
Okay, would entertain a motion then to approve the release of the performance bonds for the signage and lighting, as well as the storm sewers for Cedar Ridge Section 2, pending final technical review.
Make a motion that we approve the approval as presented.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? They're a little wordy tonight, so. Section 3, Kevin?
Thank you very much.
It's 3 different, yeah. It was
Yes, technically 3 different actions here. The third and final action is for Section 3. This one, similar to Honor Meadow, is the acceptance and approval of the secondary plat, subject to the applicable verification of necessary sureties associated with the public infrastructure improvements. For Cedar Ridge, Section 3, approval of the secondary plat, subject to verification of the appropriate sureties.
Okay, any questions of that from the board? Okay, would entertain a motion then to approve the secondary plat and also accept the surety, pending final technical review.
Move to approve the acceptance of the secondary plat of Section 3 of Cedar Ridge, subject to verification of appropriate surety.
Second.
Motion, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Those are approved. Again, sorry for the confusion on the agenda, guys. All right, then you had one more thing, Kevin, here. Surety release and acceptance for, I assume that's Riley Ridge, Section 1?
Riley Ridge, yes, Riley Ridge, Section 1. We are actually nearing the end of maintenance bond periods there. So on Riley Ridge Section 1, we're asking for the release of the maintenance bonds associated with the storm sewers, water mains, and sanitary sewers on that project. Subject to final technical review that all outstanding comments or all outstanding repairs have been made. We're asking for Riley Ridge Section 1 maintenance bonds for storm sewer, water main, and sanitary sewer. I'm sorry, second page here. Also, Section 1 maintenance bonds released for the common area sidewalks and the surface asphalt. So again, my apologies, 2 pages here. Riley Ridge, Section 1, maintenance surety release request for stormwater, water mains, sanitary sewer mains, walks, common area walks, and surface asphalt.
I would entertain a motion as presented.
I make a motion as presented for security release and acceptance for Riley Ridge, Section 1.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Judge. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, those are approved. Thank you, Kevin. Sounds like we're building a lot of houses.
I think so.
Alrighty, going back to, next will be a street closure request from the Lebanon Public Works Department. Dave, Jason?
Yes, so it's time for us to go in and do our maintenance work on Meridian Street on the east side of the square between Washington Street and Main Street. So instead of a total closure, I think we found a way. We're going to do the map that's marked in yellow on Monday, the 31st, from 8 to 4. So we'll not have a total closure. Then we'll get in there and knock that side out, and then we'll turn around the next day, come in and knock the other side out to avoid that total closure. We'll go in and get our work done. We will be out communicating with the businesses prior to and during, and we will have plenty of extra staff there to help direct folks around and make sure everything goes smooth.
Are we going to restrict traffic to just one way, or are we going to?
Yes.
So when that lane's closed, that direction's closed?
Yes.
But then the other way will be, okay.
Yeah, because the drains run like at the back of the parking stalls, so we'll get over in the parking stalls is where most of the work
So
will be
you're going to
performed.
just switch back and forth?
The next day, we'll go the other side.
Yeah, okay.
And I will send out, Kevin gave me the mass email list, so we'll get communication sent to the PD, schools, dispatch. I have all of that as well.
Any questions on that? Would entertain a motion then to approve the street closure request for Washington Street?
It would be the drains on Meridian, so.
Drains on Meridian.
Meridian,
Okay, Meridian as presented.
be the 30th and the 31st.
I make a motion, we approve the street closure request as presented.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Oh, I'm sorry, was there a second there?
Oh, you second.
Second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Second from Al. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Get ahead of myself there, sorry.
Thank you.
Controversial topic there.
Yeah.
Let's do the work. All right, that concludes what I have for new business. Is there anything else from the board? Okay, move on to claims. Entertain a motion concerning the claims.
I make a motion, we approve the claims.
Motion to approve the claims, or second?
Second.
Second from Dick. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Claims are approved. Any announcements or discussion? Okay, would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, is there a second?
Second.
Judge, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, our next Board of Works meeting will be Monday, November 13th at 5:30 PM. We are adjourned.